that's how it would kind of play into things, maybe against lesser opponents. The other thing that I wanted to kind of point out is let's look at our quarterback room and the Ohio State quarterback room for a second. I'd be interested in to get your take on the overall room, and also Will Howard versus Alex Orji.
So my take on that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So look, I mean, as it stands right now, Ohio State has a better room because they just do. But I do think when Brady Hart is added to the room, and I do think the way things are trending with Trey Taylor, I think Michigan's quarterback room is, with Carter Smith, also coming for the 2025 class, Jaden Davis. We're talking about a serious quarterback room that I think will be able to rival Ohio State's, if not be better, and I think may very well be better. I'm not in love with Will Howard. I do not fear Will Howard. I think Will Howard is an inaccurate quarterback. He becomes listen, Kansas State didn't want Will Howard. Ohio State's going to tell you they did, but they didn't. So the reality is Will Howard, in my opinion, is a downgrade from Kyle McCord. Now, do I think Will Howard is a better quarterback week one than Alex Orji? I do. I think Will Howard is a capable quarterback who can win you games. So, there's no question about that. But I also think Will Howard's a limited quarterback. And I do think Alex Orji, as the season goes on, potentially could be the better quarterback at the end of the year than Will Howard. Will Howard's limited as hell. And the fact that Ohio State thinks they got some gem to fix their quarterback problems is laughable, because the guy's a 60% thrower. His touchdown interception ratio is not amazing. And he's just a dual threat quarterback who can make plays at times. But he's a liability. Don't let them fool you.
Yeah, there's one thing that kind of terrifies me, and that is the rumor that's out there that Julian Sayin might get the job. I still think Aaron Noland. I still think Aaron Noland's the better quarterback out of the two.
Well,
even though Julian
rumors he might transfer. There's rumors Aaron Noland might transfer, so we'll see.
Yeah,
he's right now because the window's not open, but there's rumors he's not happy.
Okay, well, if Ryan Day has the guts to do that, I would be a little scared of that, but I don't think he will. I think it'll be Will Howard, and I think I would rather have Alex, or I know I would rather have Alex Orji. I know I am biased, but I just think the upside, the Milrow-like upside, is too good to pass up. If I had a choice between the two.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree, Nathan. It is young, and we're about to run into the same situation in a year. So
yeah,
next 2 years, our quarterback room is about to be really young in the next 2 years.
Hey, John, how about you? What do you think about the rooms and at the top of the room there?
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything you guys have said. I don't really think Will Howard. I see Will Howard as being like OSU's Cade McNamara, where he can be serviceable. He's a little
better than Cade. I'll give him that. He's a little better than He's better than Cade. He's better than Cade.
But 2021 Cade? 2021 Cade though?
Yeah.
Because
Cade was not mobile.
Cade at a 64%. Cade at 64%.
But what makes Will valuable is his ability to improvise with his legs.
Okay. That's fair. Cade doesn't have that. That's true.
He's a step above Cade.
That's true. But I do think that, given the fact that Kansas State was allegedly going to bench him, that's not exactly a great look. Let's transfer him over to Ohio State. He's going to get benched over there. So I don't love that. Devin Brown, if he seems to get injured. I love the idea. Devin Brown is somebody you love the idea of, but then the actual execution of it and the actual what happens in the game. We were hearing Devin Brown was beating out McCord in practice from the Buckeye podcasts. But clearly that didn't happen. You guys could speculate why, but it did seem like he was in the running against McCord last year. TJ, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to say, I mean, look at the tape that leaked from spring practice. The quarterbacks look terrible. I'm not if I was Ohio State, I'd be just as nervous as Michigan fans are with the quarterback situation. You guys are not in a good, you guys are also in an unknown position. Now what you do have is elite weapons, which should make it easier. And you have two offensive minds who are at the top of the college football, and Ryan Day and Chip Kelly. You do have that on your side. Like we're realists. We are aware and we acknowledge the reality of that.
Correct.
But listen, your offensive line has its questions, and you are also in a position where you're going to start a new quarterback, and it's going to be questionable. Now, look, you're still going to be a very good team, elite team this year. I don't deny that at all. But I do think you have a quarterback with liability situation, and I don't think your quarterback room is as strong as you guys think it is.
Yeah, as Yogi Berra once said, if you have too many cooks in the kitchen, you get old country buffet. And I think Aaron Nolan is the quarterback who I think has the most talent. I think John would agree with that. But he's just not going to see playing time, and I don't know if it's going to be even next year or if he will transfer or whatever. And Ohio State has kind of a history of this, of letting quarterbacks go and then they become superstars with a different team. I do know that having a lefty quarterback is confusing to the offensive line because they have to kind of switch assignments. And so maybe that's part of it. It's really hard to be buried in a depth chart and be a lefty quarterback. Yeah, that's just reality. I'm a lefty tennis player, but in football, that's even more of a liability potentially. Go ahead.
As much as Keith is the captain of the Jack Tuttle fan club, I'm on the Air Noland appreciation station. Okay. I think he has talent that is just not being tapped into. But when he was the thing is, he hasn't gotten the opportunities that the others have. Like even Sayin and Keenholtz, they're ahead of him on the depth chart. But look at the opportunity that they gave Aaron Noland. 4 minutes at the end of the spring game, or maybe a little more than that. But in his limited time that he was on the field, 2 touchdowns. So 2 drives that weren't like the very end garbage thing that was a throwaway. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, 100%. Can't ask for anything more than that, in my opinion. I think he'll transfer somewhere great.
Yeah, and maybe I'm looking past Julian Sayin. Like I said, though, if he is number 1 on the depth chart and he's flying up the charts, I reserve the right to rethink my opinion, and I would be scared of Julian Sayin just kind of winging it around. He is from Carlsbad, California, so I kind of have.
You just moved there, Phil.
Yeah, I kind of have I want him to be somewhere else. I wish he was still in Alabama, right? So
I was about to say I have a connection to him because he's from Carlsbad. You just moved there, man.
so anyway, which quarterback would I want? I saw that comment. I would want Will Howard because I want Ohio State to lose to Michigan. So that's the quarterback I would want, right? So
I would agree. Julian Sayin and Aaron Nolan, I think, of higher upside quarterbacks. I mean, there's no question. But yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, we'll find out. I mean, listen, what does Will Howard also have? He has experience. He's tested. So I mean, look, he's not garbage. I know, how I spoke of him was as if he's terrible. He's not terrible. He's just, in my opinion, a liability, and he's not a step above Kyle McCord, which is what you guys wanted, which is why you guys ran him out of Ohio State, which is hilarious.
And to that point, would you rather have McCord, Will Howard, or Alex Orji? Like those 3, rank them.
Kyle McCord.
Yes,
I would rather agree. Kyle McCord.
Yep,
I would rather Kyle McCord. I think Kyle McCord, with our offense, our offensive line, our system, a year older, I think he'd be very good for Michigan. Alex Orji is boomer bust, man. That's the reality.
Here's the thing. Here's my issue with Kyle McCord. My issue with Kyle McCord is not his talent. My issue with Kyle McCord is that in the biggest stage, in the largest spotlights, he didn't have that dog in him, and he had the best receiver in college football to throw to. And sometimes he was on, and sometimes he would botch a check down. He was very inconsistent, and I think that at Michigan it would be the same thing. Whereas at a school like Syracuse, I think he's going to have an incredible season. I legitimately do. And I think it's because a step back, a little bit less of a spotlight, the pressure's off. You don't have to win every single game. and he can just go sling it. And I think he's going to do very well at Syracuse. I don't think he would do as well at Michigan as he didn't at Ohio State. So for me, I need to see more from Alex Orji, because the last time he really slung it was high school. I need to see like some game film to really make that judgment call to say I'd pick Alex Orji over McCord or Howard. But yeah, I'm going to have to begrudgingly say McCord right this second. But yeah. I also reserve the right to change that to Alex Orji if he has some great games.
I want to respond to some of the Buckeyes in the comments talking about we're going to find out with Will Howard. Will Howard's going to show us. Listen, let's just keep it real, okay? Will Howard is a 60% completion thrower, okay? He was 24 for 10 interceptions last year. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. That's not good. And then you want to talk about his red zone efficiency. Guys, he feasted on being able to run. Let me tell you what he's not going to do against Michigan, and ask Jalen Milroe. You're not running. Your quarterback is not running against our defense. We are going to make you one-dimensional. And Will Howard's arm is not going to win you that game. I'm going to tell you that right now. You guys are delusional. Okay, you have a quarterback who has a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, had only 2,600 yards. He's not the savior you think he is. And I'm looking forward to you guys realizing that this season. He's not it, man. And Michigan's going to shut him down. He's not going to run jack on Michigan.
Okay.
Jalen, your prime example of what a mobile quarterback can do against Michigan. Nothing.
Yeah. I was actually surprised. Yeah.
Our defense is built for a mobile quarterback.